There we go.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 14 of Hooked on Sonics. I am one of your two hosts, Bruce, and that there's Tony reaching into the random fridge for goodies. This week's episode,
Indeed.
we are doing a sophomore album battle between Jimi Hendrix's Axis Bold as Love and Bad Brains' Rock for Light. Tony, how are you?
I am great. How are you, brother?
Woo woo!
Cool, man. What you been listening to this week?
Man, so I went into a deep Hendrix dive.
Nice.
So full disclosure, this Axis Bold as Love was probably the second Hendrix album that I've actually listened to in its entirety. The only other one that I listened to fully was Woodstock.
So you never listened to Are You Experienced?
Nope.
What?
Nope.
Come on, man. You got to put that stuff in your vocabulary.
Listen, because I got burned out on the radio. Burned out on radio hits. So never got around to it. So I did
There's
a really
so much
good
great
deep
stuff out
dive.
there that wasn't on the radio.
Yeah. So he put out most of the stuff, which is crazy, came out posthumously, and he put out a really good blues album that I just loved, and it's just called Jimi Hendrix Blues. It's fantastic. So I was digging on that a lot. What about you?
This week, what has it been? I think I've been listening to a little bit of Ruby the Hatchet, like I said, I mentioned to you earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And then was doing some Typo Negative. And then I was schooling my sister on some old school hip hop at some point in time this weekend.
There you go.
Yeah. So
what'd she think?
Oh, we had a blast. We had a blast. We're cruising back from where she was and coming back to the house, and I had the car just loud as shit, hopping around in it and just having a good time, so.
You had your hydraulics on full point?
No, but have you ever been in a vehicle with hydraulics?
No.
They're a lot of fun. So my cousins Candy and Mandy, their cousin Chad, had a 68, 69 Impala with hydraulics on it.
Nice.
And it had the whole low rider symbol in the back. It was all black and silver, man. Shit was sharp. He took me out one night, man. We were drinking and hanging out, and we went to go run an errand, pretty much. And he put that thing up and down as we were rolling through the streets, and I was like, it's actually pretty freaking cool, man. But once you have those hydraulic batteries in the back, in a car like that, you can't put a big booming ass system unless you actually put it just behind you, because those batteries are huge.
Gotcha. Well, speaking of drinking, what are you drinking?
Tonight I am having, thanks to Nomad's guitar player Tom, probably left this here. It is a Dogfish Head Low Cal IPA.
Nice. There you go.
Slightly mighty, I think, is what they call it.
What kind of taste factor you got going on there? Good.
I like it.
Okay.
I like it. It's a good. I don't know, man. I guess you would say like a light IPA.
Okay.
It's got the good IPA taste. It just doesn't feel as heavy.
Gotcha.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. So I'm going to thank you for my drink. I am drinking Buffalo Trace in an AC/DC cup with lemonade.
You are welcome. Actual Buffalo Trace.
Absolutely. Single barrel. Like $28-$30.
So I don't know if I don't know that it's a single barrel.
It is.
Okay. Regular Buffalo Trace is a single barrel? How would I not know that?
I don't know. I'll show you after the show what it says. I could be wrong, but I'll show you after the show.
But regular Buffalo Trace is a great standard bourbon.
Oh yeah.
Great standard.
Good time.
Bourbon.
I love it.
All right, man. So news? You got some news?
Oh, there's a little bit of
Some
news.
Extreme close up.
You 90s kids will get that. The rest of you are like fucking weirdos. All right, so let's see. Marty Friedman reunited with Megadeth for a few shows.
That's
really cool.
I need to watch some of the videos if they're out there. Definitely need to take a gander on that. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah. I'm a huge fan of his. I liked his work with Megadeth, and that's great to see.
His solo work afterwards was amazing.
Yeah,
I know he's doing a lot of J-pop stuff, man, but I don't get into J-pop.
Yeah. And then tomorrow, all you kids want to get up bright and early and turn on Howard Stern on Sirius, and Kiss will be on there to announce the last date and all the details of their final show. So that ought to be pretty exciting.
End of an era.
And yeah. Thank you. Thank God. And then Extreme, good old Wholehearted Extreme, it's coming out with a new single at midnight tonight called Rise. So it's already out in Canada and Australia, but it's going to hit North America around midnight tonight. So excited to hear that. Nuno Betancourt, really underrated guitar player.
I agree, but I don't listen to a lot of his stuff, and I'm very aware of his talent. Let's just put it.
Yeah, for sure.
What did we see? I thought we saw. What was it? Tom Kiefer and Winger and John Corabi going out on tour. You said the Kiss thing. Fear Factory with the new singer, video footage out there. A lot of people were saying he sounds like a younger Burton, man. So I'm definitely looking forward to checking that out for sure. I've always loved the guys from Fear Factory. I've been a big fan of Fear Factory since early on. It looks like Foo Fighters is going to be doing some shows. And Skid Row and Buck Cherry are announcing second leg of their tour, I guess. Santana maybe coming on tour. Looks that way. A lot of stuff. Steve Harris's British Lion announces a spring summer tour.
Who?
Yeah.
Don't know who that is.
So Steve Harris is the bass player from Iron Maiden.
Oh, okay.
Side project for him. Yeah, I mean, lots of good stuff going on, man. There's good things going on out there in the music world and stuff and whatnot. There's and they say rock is dead, right?
Only Gene Simmons.
Yeah, and he's the one retiring.
Yeah.
Do you think he'll ever retire from music? Or, I mean, do you think he'll retire from music in the celebrity status or both or one or the other?
No.
I mean, he's obviously done solo albums, right?
He did, well, two, but one.
Yeah, he's obviously done solo albums. The first one obviously being somewhat of an embarrassment because all of those Kiss early solo albums were, there were just a few tracks on each one that maybe were good. And then some of them didn't even have a great track on it. So no disrespect there, but dude, the best one I think the best one that we can agree on is Aces was the best of the bunch.
Oh yeah. So, for sure.
New York Groove Alone is the greatest song out of all those albums.
What is it?
New York Groove is the greatest song out of all those albums, dude.
Oh,
dude, no, there's nothing that gets me pumped more off of any of those albums, dude.
I was at some grocery store the other day, and New York Groove was on the overhead, and I started singing New York Groove, and Rhea was just looking at me like,
Hey,
Now I'm
dude,
just out
listen.
there belting New York groove.
I was in Yankee Stadium, and you know I'm a Yankees
Oh
fucking
wow.
fan,
Oh
dude.
yeah.
And Herd coming across the shit, and I'm just like, how lucky can a guy be? Here
That's
I
freaking
am
cool.
in the city.
I do love that song.
Yeah,
God.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Come on now, tell me that ain't the greatest one out of all of them, dude.
No.
Name a better song. Name a better song.
Right off the rip, speeding back to my baby. That
Ah,
solo alone.
pass.
You haven't listened to that in forever. That's your
All
problem.
right, let's not get on a half-hour rant about Kiss. We got albums to review.
That's right.
Go for it. You're up.
All right. Well, you have given me Jimi Hendrix's Experience, Access Bold as Love. One of the things I love about vinyl, you truly get the a great experience with vinyl, and I just love this. So
That's a beautiful album cover.
it's a beautiful album cover, and he was actually offended by that album cover. He found it kind of offensive because it's kind of cultural appropriation, whatever. But he thought it was cool looking. He was just kind of uncomfortable with it. But yeah, but that thing was released December 1st, 1967, about 7 months after RU Experience. That's crazy. So
Wow.
his creative juices were just absolutely flying at this point. He did a lot of experimentation with this album, starting with the first track, EXP. That sound that you get where the sound sounds like it's going around you. That has just become a new thing, and he was actually trying that out, and it's really cool. I mean, it's not a music track, but it's still a neat little opener. Like, okay, what the hell am I getting into? Um, and then that opens up into Up from the Skies. Nice little jazzy, upbeat, hey, beep bop 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 song. I love that song. Of course, classic Spanish Castle Magic. Um, you're going to hate me for this. I actually like Ace Frehley's version of that better, just because
What?
it's newer. It just sounds fresher. But
So let me ask you this: did you hear Aces before you heard that one?
no,
Okay.
no.
Okay.
But I just it's produced better. I mean, that's all.
Well,
But
that's
it's
like
also
I would take the Quiet Riot tune, "Come On Feel the Noise" over the original Slade tune.
yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
And don't get me wrong, the original Slade tune is pretty fucking good. Don't get me wrong,
Mm-hmm.
but the Quiet Riot took it to a whole.
Yep.
Here we are. You know, I
Yep.
prefer Typo Negative "Summer Breeze" as opposed to Seals and Crofts.
Are you sure that wasn't Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young?
How about no? We learned that last week.
Little Wing's on here. I love Little Wing. I've always loved Little Wing. I always have a problem. Like, do I like when it has Jimmy's vocals on it, or do I like the covers I've heard where it's just instrumental? I don't know. I love this. I love his version of Little Wing. You know, I don't think you can go wrong with any version of it, really. Um, some of the other songs on here that weren't hits, but they're just really good songs. Wait Until Tomorrow, just a great, just groovy song. Ain't No Telling. I love the callback vocals on that at the beginning. Um, you Got Me Floating, very funky, just groove, man. I mean, these guys were really hitting on all cylinders. The only couple songs are kind of like, it's fine. Was Bold as Love and Little Miss Lover. I wouldn't say they're bad. They're just like, as compared to the rest of the album, eh.
You didn't feel that they were on par with the rest of the album.
Correct.
That's understandable.
Correct. Yep. You know, and it's for this album, it's really hard for me to judge because it's a great album, but it's not even the greatest Hendrix album. So it's like, where do you put that? You know, for me, you know, again, I try to put the whole package into it: the production, the artwork, the songs, obviously. You know, it's tough, and I'm not. I'd probably put it 7.5, maybe 8.
Really?
But I'm putting it against other Hendrix stuff. The Electric Ladyland, I think is
Maybe you shouldn't put it up against other Hendrix stuff. Maybe you should rate it on its own merit.
dude.
That's
They're
what I
all
try to do.
within. They're all within a year or two of each other.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty impressive. I'll give it an 8. I'll give it an 8.
I think it's worth an 8.
Yeah, I think it's worth an 8. And you know, again, there's
May
a
not
couple
be the
songs
greatest
on there.
Hendrix. May not be the greatest Hendrix album to you, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's a solid album. Yeah,
it's an iconic album. And you know, if you're just getting into Hendrix, you won't go wrong picking up this album first and saying, okay, what's he about?
Yeah.
This is a great representation of what he was about.
Good deal. Good deal.
Yeah.
So you give it an 8.
Yep. What do you give it?
I'd probably give it about an 8. I would agree with that.
Okay.
You know, not the greatest Hendrix album, but a solid freaking album, man. Like it's worth. I mean, it's an album you can definitely go back to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know. So that's what I was kind of hoping to look for there for you. But let me give my review because I want to talk a minute. It's my turn.
Say it,
please, mother sucker. All right, so here we go. I had Bad Brains, Rock for Light, and a little history about me. I love punk. Always have loved punk. I'm wondering where the heck you're picking up all these damn albums, dude. I will tell you, just directly off the rip, this album slid its way into my top 10 punk albums.
Nice.
For many, many, many reasons. And that's not easy to do because I have some pretty, you know, I'm a huge Misfits fan. I like the Descendants. I like Black Flag. I like, you know, of course, the Sex Pistols. They had one album. Come on now. You know, but, you know, Ramones. Oh, man, you had so much. The Cramps. I mean, just all those great bands out there like that. And I was familiar with Bad Brains because of my cousin, but I wasn't a big follower of what was going on with them at the time because I was probably listening to something else. And I always had my head in other places, you know. About the time that this probably dropped, I was listening to probably some hardcore thrash, you know, stuff beyond Metallica and all that stuff at the time.
Yeah.
Moving my way into death metal, if that makes sense. But I really like this album, man. Like it started off really good, like that Coptic Times. Just I knew, you know, right away if you have any. And my buddy Josh from Suspect Earth, we oh man, dude, he and I really saw eye to eye on a lot of punk, and he had a philosophy: either you love punk or you don't. There's no in between. And I would have to agree with that. It's a very, very hard thing for people to listen to. Some people just can't get it. And some people don't want to get it, you know, and that's fine. That's your taste. But this is a solid punk offering. Standout tracks: Coptic Times, Attitude. I think Sailing On. Love that Rally Round the Jawthro. Love that reggae style stuff, man. I like that. When it got into some of that, I'm like, yeah, wow, this is out of like, I don't mind twists like that, especially when it's done well. These guys do punk and reggae very, very, very well, and they can blend the two, and they're doing a fantastic job. the guitar player and solos are some of the best solos I have ever heard in punk music. I
Dr.
truly,
No.
dude, I truly appreciate this album. FVK was a solid track. Destroy Babylon, like
Oh,
Abandon
so good.
DC. Like this is a solid offering. So, like I said, it falls into my top 10 punk albums.
Yeah.
And I've probably been listening to punk longer than you.
Oh yeah, for sure.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because, yeah, I've been just because I constantly explore music. You know that, right? And what's one of the things I talked to you about is like finding Doom was like finding home. You know,
Yeah.
my journey is complete. This is where I belong. This is where I need to make music. This is where I'm comfortable and I'm happy. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yep.
but punk is like Doom is almost like a natural progression of punk, you know, and it can go back and forth, man. It all goes hand in hand.
Yep.
But this is a solid album because it fell into my top 10. Giving it a 9.25,
I love it.
which means it'll see rotation.
Yeah.
How often it'll see rotation? Whenever I'm in a punk mood, it may drop. I'll need to find me a copy of it, but I like digital stuff. I just
Yeah.
can't store all the albums. That's good stuff, though, man. Oh, and if you're looking for this on the internet, out there on YouTube, do your research. One of the albums that's fully loaded out there is sped up, and it doesn't sound. It definitely sounds off.
Yeah.
There's somebody that's got this track separated, and it sounds actually pretty good. I would go with that one. But yeah, man, this is a hell of a solid punk album. I was very, very like, dude, it's just a good album, man. Like
Yeah.
I can't tell you everything that I heard because you don't hear everything in the first two or three
No.
songs of the punk album.
I'm going to tell you something on this album. So if you research the lyrics on these songs, a lot of religious lyrics in this.
Yeah.
A lot of reference to Jah or to Yah, which is Rastafarian for God, and a lot about being with God and very religious overtones on this. So definitely check out the lyrics of these songs. It's fantastic.
Can I tell you something? I was on the fence, and I'm still semi on the fence about going to Muddy Roots. I'm waiting to see the last people that they announce.
Yeah.
They're on Muddy Roots.
Very cool. Now, it's not some of the original guys aren't on there.
DRI is on there too. And I've never seen either one of those bands.
Yeah.
And I thought, man, you know what? $155 3-day event, see a bunch of goddamn Gallows is on there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a few different bands and may get turned on to some others, man. Guar's headlining.
Okay.
So I mean, have you ever seen Guar?
No. I've seen Green Jelly.
Guar's nasty, brother. There's shit flying everywhere, and you're talking in a muddy ass field. Like, let's get it.
That'd be a good time.
Oh yeah. So yeah, tickets are like $155, man. But I'm waiting to see who else they announce. You might even be familiar with some of the guys that they announced. So go check out the lineup from Muddy Roots so far.
Yeah.
Okay. But and if you are, man, maybe it's worth hooking up, and you can show me some shit. You know?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Hey, real quick, you know who produced this album of theirs?
Yeah, Rick Ocasek, man. I did see
from
that,
the
dude.
Cars.
From the Cars, that blew my mind.
Who would have thought?
Like, what? But you know what, dude? The Cars had a very punk sound too. They were more of a poppier punk sound too, dude. Think about it.
Yeah.
I don't mind you coming here.
Wasting all my time.
I love the Cars, dude. I think they were a great band. But with that being said, are we doing one more album for Black History Month since it's the last day?
No, so it just happens. March happens to be uh, Women's History Month. So what I'm going to do, and you could do what you want, I'm going to focus on different women and all kinds of genres. So, boy, do you got a humdinger coming your way.
That sucks.
Why?
Because I was actually going to give you an album that spends somewhat.
Well, give me an album. Give me an album. I don't care.
But if we're going the woman route, I have an album for you, and we can go right there.
Okay. Okay.
What I was going to give you is because of the reggae overtones on this album.
Okay. Well, give me whatever you want.
I was going to give you Bob Marley's Legend.
Ah. Okay.
I am a huge Marley fan. You may not know that.
Okay.
That
I didn't know that.
Rotation. Huh?
I did not know that.
You didn't know that?
No.
Suspect Earth at one time in early 8 stages, we had a song that Josh had kind of written up for called Marley on a Harley.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I was thinking about giving you that, or if we're going to go the woman route, man, I'd have to give you Ruby the Hatchet.
You don't have to. That's my rule that I'm putting into place.
I understand. All right, let's see here real quick. I believe it's this. Yes, it is this one. Yeah, dude. Listen, we can do the Marley at some point in time, but I really want you to check out this band.
Okay.
Ruby the Hatchet. Name of the album's called Valley of the Snake.
Valley of the Snake.
Yeah.
Wow. You're going to love this because the album that I'm giving you is the Plasmatics Beyond the Valley of 1984.
Plasmatics Beyond the Valley in 1984.
With Wendy O. Williams.
Of course. We know who Wendy O. Williams is. And you've listened to this album. You're not just randomly giving me albums.
Oh, no. I love this album. Love this album.
All right.
It's probably one of my favorite Plasmatic albums.
Yeah. She was wild, man.
Dude. And so talented.
Yeah.
I think actually she was probably my first celebrity crush as a kid.
Really?
Yeah.
Ah, man, you know who my celebrity crush was?
I was like 10 or 12.
Do you know who my celebrity crush was as a kid? And still
Mr. Rogers?
Is?
Oh.
Susanna Hoffs.
Oh, yeah. I give you that. That's acceptable.
Bengals. She is a beautiful, beautiful specimen.
Mm-hmm.
And that is no disrespect to that very gorgeous woman. Yeah, I don't even know. She doesn't look like she's aged a bit.
No.
Like she is a very beautiful, beautiful woman.
Still kicking.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyways, I'm excited about this album. I'm excited about you hearing this Plasmatics album. So
I don't want to tell you anything about the album, man. I'll let you find it out for yourself. This is a solid album, man. Like I found out about Ruby the Hatchet last year, man. And as soon as I heard the first album, I downloaded everything. I bought everything off of Bandcamp.
Yeah.
And was just like, these guys, well, I think when I introduce people to like the Doom stuff genre, I think this is up your alley, dude. I think it's just it's got that, it's got enough that gets you going. You know what I mean? And she's got an amazing voice. She absolutely has an amazing voice. Um, different than um, Dorothea from Windhand,
Yeah.
but more along the lines of, man, I would almost say like, and this is a bold statement, and I know it is. I would almost say along the lines of like a cross between Stevie Nicks and Pat Benatar or something like that, you know,
Okay.
or
Mhm.
Stevie Nicks and Joan Jett or something like that, you know. She's got that good clean vocal, but I think she gets just a little raspy.
Yeah.
You know, there's just a little rasp in there, like, you know, it's pretty solid, dude. She's, oh, dude, Heavy Blanket. I think that's the opening track on that album. It's still
Very
one of my
cool.
favorite tunes by them. Like I jam those dudes every so often, man. I'm looking forward to seeing them live. They're from out this direction, but they're not touring anywhere close by at the
Yeah.
moment. Other than that, man, we've got about 6 minutes left, but I think we figured out that issue, which is good.
Yeah.
So if we set something like this up and we do the special episode that we've discussed,
Mm-hmm.
and you guys know who we're talking about, I think we can really just do this in here. As long as we say, hey, you know, we're going to log on at this time. Everybody make sure that they can log in the meeting, reboot it. Because I think we got plenty. Dude, we got a lot done in this show.
Yeah.
And still have 5 minutes left.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish the show by drinking this beer with my friend.
All that.
How about you drink your shit? Come on, drink up, punky.
It's
Ow.
gone.
Ow. Yeah, it's easy to do that with bourbon and lemonade. It's so easy to do that. Hey, what do you think of that? I showed my guys that shit, and they were like, man, I did never imagine that would work. I'm like, dude, it's money, dude. And you can adjust the bourbon as much as you want, you know?
Oh, I'm always little. My wrist kind of wears out.
Well, I'm heavy handed. I go one third bourbon, 2/3 fucking lemonade.
Yep. You want to know how I first heard about Bad Brains?
Yeah,
I seen a video of the Foo Fighters doing a drum solo with Earl, the Bad Brains drummer. It was like this little breakdown for stacked actors. So it was Taylor, Dave Grohl, and Earl all doing drum solos playing off of each other. And it was fantastic. And I'm like, okay. And then Dave always said that Bad Brains was a huge influence on them. So I'm like, okay, let me check out Bad Brains, you know? And so I listened to the first album, I'm like, it's okay. And then I talked to Scott. I was like, all right, give me a good representation of the Bad Brains, because I know he likes Bad Brains. He's like, oh, first album. I was like, nah. So I started digging, and I was like, okay, I wanted something from the original lineup, and I was like, no, I really love this second album. I love the second album better than the first, for sure. So, but the other stuff, the later stuff is really good too. It's just different. It's a completely different vocalist. The original lead singer, he couldn't keep his shit together. He's always in trouble doing something. But so I really went into kind of a little deep dive on Bad Brains. Really enjoyed them. So
nice. I tell you what, man, I did that with Death, because the first couple times I checked those dudes out, I couldn't really get into them. But my buddies from Beyond Neptune turned me onto those dudes, and I'll tell you, man, if you don't know anything about Chuck Schuldiner, you need to find out, man, because each album progressively got insanely better. The dude was a genius, and it's a shame that we lost him so early. But even going back through that, if you ask me what my favorite Death album is, it's personal, just because it is so raw.
Yeah,
I love that raw early sound on a lot of recordings. from
Yeah.
certain bands, you know.
Well, let
We've
me
got
ask you
about 2
this:
minutes left.
what's your favorite Hendrix album?
Probably our experience.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Mine is probably going to be. Give me just a second, because I'm terrible with names anymore. I'm going to say mine is probably going to be Band of Gypsies, even though it was a live album, but it was right after Woodstock, and he made that switch from he got rid of the experience and went with Band of Gypsies. And it was a lot more bluesy, a lot more funky, less psychedelic.
Right.
And it was really good. And then I really like that. I really like that.
A blues album.
Well, obviously Woodstock, but that's, you know. But yeah, I would say Band of Gypsies for me is probably my favorite Hendrix album at this point. Woodstock #2, and that blues album probably 3, and then Bold as Love probably 4.
Yeah. Well, we're down to our final minute, man.
Ever.
With that being said, thank you guys for tuning in. If you like what you see, hit the like button, comment, subscribe. We'll look forward to seeing you guys next week. Bruce, see you later, man.
See you guys.
Channel, same YouTube time.
Oh,
roughly.
See ya.